Hello, my friends. We are back in the garage, and I apologize for the gap since the last video. I didn't think much of it until yesterday. I ran into a subscriber who was like, I keep checking for another video. Where's the video? Okay. All right. Well, I guess I need to put together another video. Now, you all know that I live in Winnipeg, Manitoba, also known as Winterpeg, Manitoba, for a reason. It is very cold here. It was minus 27 Celsius. I don't even know what that is in Fahrenheit. I think actually that's the crossover point where Fahrenheit and Celsius are the same. So very, very cold. Now, just for shits and giggles, I drove the Camaro in the snow just to say I did it. It actually did not too bad. I expected it to be a lot worse. It was not bad, actually. As long as the snow was on top of concrete or asphalt, it seemed to be okay. But then when I got to my back alley, which is snow, just snow, yeah, it couldn't handle that very well. It was a little dicey. But anyways, I did drive it in the snow and did just fine. They have not salted the roads yet, so no issues with getting salt on anything. But anyways, the car is now up in the air. Look how high it is up in the air. These are something I just built. These stands, 1 foot high stands to put my quick jack on top of. And it's got Bridget freaked out a little bit, but they're plenty strong. Look at this. You can see my breath. That's how cold it is in my garage right now. My electric heater, this electric heater up here, has given up the ghost. It blows, but doesn't blow hot air anymore. So I got these, I got 2 of these heaters, which are, what do they call these? What do they call these ones? I can't remember what they're called. But anyways, I got 2 of these heaters. They don't seem to be doing much. Not terribly impressed with those. But anyways, there are some changes coming for the Camaro because we have a very long, cold winter here, and there's not much to do. The only thing to do in this town in winter is come to Speed World Indoor Kart Track and go karting or try our new racing simulators. Anyways, I know most of you aren't from Winnipeg, so this doesn't matter at all to you, but there it is. So, the car was so good, you know, right up until I had to stop driving. It was so good. Yes, it has a couple of little things, but I have the whole winter to solve those little things. So let me tell you about one of the little things. Seats, okay? So when we ordered this whole interior from TMI, we had a choice of seats. You know, you have high back buckets, like racing buckets, and you have these low back buckets. I wrongfully assumed that because I was running street tires in a old car, that this thing wouldn't go around corners that fast or with that many G's. So I felt that the low back buckets would look better and, you know, lap belts would probably be enough. I was very wrong. You get thrown around pretty hardcore in this car. These seats don't have enough lateral support. They're just too flat. They're comfortable, but not enough side-to-side support. And so the lap belt idea was out. Like, I can, as a driver, manage it because I can hang onto my steering wheel. But my poor passengers get thrown around like rag dolls. So I got 4-point harnesses for the car, which, of course, required me to build that harness guide bar, which I've shown you. You've all seen the harness guide bar. So now, I don't like the appearance of the harness guide bar. So I spent a lot of time thinking about this. How am I going to solve this problem? And it occurred to me that I really just need to break down and get high back bucket seats that have the cutouts for the seatbelts. So that's what I did. I got these seats. They're made in California. I can't remember the brand, but they're made in California, and they have carbon fiber. They're reclining, but they also are, you know, carbon fiber shell, and they were a really good price, and they were on special. So I ordered those. Those are coming. They're not here yet, so I can't show you those, but I can show you my new 4-point harnesses. Now, I got these Spaco harnesses, and the reason I got these ones is because these work as either just a lap belt, or you can have the harnesses, like the shoulder harnesses as well. I hate when I take a passenger, them struggling with the belts and how does this go together and what happens here. And the lap belts I have are super easy to use, and nobody has a problem with those because they're like an airplane style seatbelt, but they don't hold you in at all. So, when I go autocrossing, I have these 4-point, what brand are they? Corbo, I think they're Corbo. I thought they'd be super simple because they have a really easy latching mechanism, but they don't have an easy tightening mechanism. So what I would do is I just tell my passengers, okay, the seat's all the way back right now, get in, hook up your belt, and then just slide your seat forward until the belts are tight. That was the only way to do it because the tightening mechanism was so cumbersome on those Corbo belts, and I regret getting them. But you don't know these things until you get it, right? So the reason I got these Spacos is because the way that this cam lock works here is you can use it just for the lap belts. Like day-to-day street use, I can just use the lap belts. And then on race days, I can latch in the shoulder belts, right? And they all just click into holes in that center cam. So that's why I went with the Spacos. So I have those. Those have to go in once the new seats go in. And I am changing the center plate on the car. Let's see, where did I put the new plate? Hold on, I'll find it. Okay, you see this plate here? This plate here? I used to have the brake bias knob there, and I used to have the cruise control there, and I had my e-brake button there. But I never, I put them in there, but I never really liked how it looked. Appearance-wise, it always bothered me, and it bothered Bridget too. And so I purchased from Anvil, of course I did, carbon fiber center panel. All right. So I got a carbon fiber center panel. So I have to put that in, and I've already relocated the buttons. So the cruise control, for now, I've removed the cruise control because the cruise control uses it's from Dakota Digital, and it requires the OBD2 port, which is the same as the gauges. The gauges also from Dakota Digital require an OBD2 port. So I got a splitter, to split the signal, but evidently there's something missing in the data that the cruise control does not work. So until I get that sorted, now I called Dakota Digital and they say it's just, you just take this wire and you run it to your vehicle speed sensor on the transmission, no problem. Okay, whatever. I will do that leading up to a road trip. Like when I plan on going on a road trip, then I will put the cruise control on. But until then, I'm just going to leave it off. I've already relocated the e-brake button, which is good because before when I was strapped in, like with the 4-point harnesses, I actually couldn't reach it. I always had to undo my belts to lean forward to, take the e-brake off. Or put it on. And now I have it in the console. It's right there, snick, snick, and it's no problem. So I also need to relocate this. This is my brake bias knob. And so I had to get a whole new kit because I needed a longer one of these cables because the cable that's in it is now too short because I just have it right there on the dash and it's super short. So there's those things. Other things I need to do on the car. Okay, I'm not sure if I talked about this in a previous video, but I had this problem where there was a really horrible transmission noise at certain speeds, like fourth gear, 85 kilometers an hour. Miserable. The speed or the noise coming from the transmission. I go online and like, T56 Magnum, transmission noise. Oh, they're just noisy. It's just part of the, there's a whole bunch of information on how noisy these T56s are, but I just didn't buy it that Tremec would make a transmission that was as noisy as this transmission. So, long story short, I tried all different pinion angles because I thought it was pinion angle related, like it was putting in my U-joints, out of phase or whatever it is. And I tried numerous angles on the rear end, and all it did was it moved the speed that the vibration occurred or the noise occurred up or down. It just moved it around. It never eliminated it. So anyways, it turns out that my engine is at too steep of an angle. It was angled down 5 degrees, I think it was. And so even with the rear end angled up at 5 degrees, which in theory is supposed to be the way it's supposed to go, yeah, didn't solve the problem. So I landed up lifting the back of the motor and transmission up. So I got now under 3 degrees. It's 2 point something now. And that has eliminated the noise. So the noise is gone, thank God. But as a result of that, because the car, everything, all the gaps in it, it's so tight. Everything's so tight in this car, like as far as fitment of the engine and trans and everything. It's now put the headers up against the floor. So I have not had a problem with heat inside the car as a result of the headers being up against the floor, but there's this low humming noise inside the car now that I'm convinced is the exhaust that's up against the floor, because it wasn't there before. So another thing I need to do is change the angle of the headers a little bit, or change something there in the exhaust a little bit, so that I have even an 1/8 of an inch gap between the floor and the headers, and then there'd be no problem. So those are things I need to do over the winter. I also have the slave cylinder. That stupid McLeod slave cylinder is leaking. Even though I pulled it out and I replaced the O-ring, it's leaking. So that needs to be replaced. And so the transmission has to come out for that. So these are all things that have to happen over the winter. So I don't know. I'm going to only videotape the stuff that might be remotely interesting. And we'll put together a little video, and hopefully those seats will be here soon. They're supposed to be shipped 2 days from now. So we'll see. That's Tuesday the 14th, I think, of December. So that's when they tell me they're going to be shipped. So who knows? I might have them here before Christmas. We'll see. But anyways, let's carry on with the stuff that we need to do.
Let's get started.
Okay, so most of the interior is out, seats are out, console's out, and what I've done is I've added some of this sound deadener, like this stuff, 1/2 inch thick stuff, beneath the back and underneath the front here. I also have going all the way up. So I think that's going to make a difference for the sound, which will be awesome. But let me show you what just arrived. Ta-da! We have our new seats. Is my heater a little too loud? Maybe I'll shut that off. Hold on a second. So here they are. Let me get that off of them. And there are the new seats. And the back. Look at that. Look at that. Real carbon fiber. I couldn't believe how cheap these were. Summit Racing. Yep. So anyways, I'll get those fitted, but I think it's more important that I get the transmission back in the car. That's where my priority is today. I have, well, let me show you what else I have going on today. This is going to be a very busy day for me, but let me show you what else I have going on. Okay, so in addition to doing all the work on the Camaro, it's now 6 in the morning. I started at 5 in the morning, and this is what else I have going on in my backyard. I am smoking some meat in the choo-choo train. So I don't know if you can, hold on, let me see if you can see that. There you go. Yep. So I'm smoking a brisket and a pork butt, because I plan on making pulled pork. So an early start, because it's the pork butt's like a 12-hour process to smoke, and the brisket's like a 24-hour deal. And you can see it's cold outside. Anyways, so right now I'm getting the smoker up to temperature, and then the meat's gonna go on. And in between checking the temperatures of that, I will be back in the garage working on the old Camaro. So yeah, it's gonna be a busy day, and it's Christmas Eve, by the way. I'm doing all this on December 24th. So anyways, yeah, I think this transmission is gonna be fairly easy, but I gotta do some careful measuring of the bell housing and everything to make sure I have the spacing of the throat bearing correct. So let's get to it. So the Pro Car seats come with instructions that when you order them, you have to order the Pro Car seat brackets because they're the only seat brackets that work with the Pro Car sliders. This is quite amazing. I don't know how I got so lucky, but the TMI sliders and seat brackets, which the brackets themselves are designed specifically for a 67 Camaro, they practically bolt right onto the Pro Car seats. I just had to take, two of the holes had to be hollered out a little bit for the bolts to go through, but otherwise bolts right on. So the seats bolt right into the car. That's really nice. I will show you that shortly. Right now I'm adjusting the belt lengths. I have to have the belt, the new harnesses, I have to have that all correct before I bolt the seats in. Otherwise they won't tighten up properly, or they'll be too loose, or whatever it is. So I'll get that done. I'll get the seats bolted in there, and then I'll show you what I got. But I just want to say those brackets bolting on like that certainly made things a lot easier. Okay, the meat smoking has gone on great. I've been doing it all day. So I check the temperatures of the meat, and then I come and work on the car, you know, in between. And it's all gone very well. So I got the transmission back in. I got the drive shaft on. I'm going to make a new cross member, or I'm going to modify the cross member for the torque arm so that it also holds the back of the transmission up too. It'll eliminate a whole cross member, the transmission cross member. It'll eliminate that. It'll free up some room for the exhaust as well. But anyways, I want to show you the interior. You got to see this. These seats are amazing. Let me turn the camera around. There, what do you think of that? Yep, and look at the back of the seats. Look at that. Oh, it's so awesome. And I got that new center panel too, so that's also carbon fiber. Yep, pretty happy with that. So no more harness guide bar, and these might actually work now. I need to pull out my the door bars that I built and see if they will clear these seats. I know the other seats wouldn't clear them, but this, with this cutout here, maybe it'll clear it. So these are, you can recline these seats. They're obviously adjustable forward and back, so that's pretty awesome. I really like how they look. I think they look awesome in the car. I should have ordered high back buckets to begin with, but you know, I'm paying for my mistakes. I gotta figure out where to mount this now, because I had this mounted on the harness guide bar, and yeah, so I gotta find a new location for this fire extinguisher. Also, these seats have, look, they have a slot here for a submarine belt, or an anti-submarine belt. And unfortunately, these belts, they have a provision for it right there, but they didn't come with them. So I need to see if I can buy them separately from Spaco. So we'll see about that. But anyways, yeah, so I don't know. Oh, I gotta do something with the radiator. So the radiator's got to come out. I got to get that modified. It currently does not have a drain on it anywhere, so I actually have to pull a hose off to drain it. So I'm gonna take the whole rad out and get that fixed, or get one installed. And the overflow hose, the little aluminum nub there, that is for the overflow, that broke off, so I need to get that there. I gotta get that modified as well and get a new one put in there. But anyways, I know some of you are gonna want to see how the meat smoking's coming along. The pork butt is already in the oven resting, but the brisket, there's the brisket. Oh yeah. And it is, I got gauges on it, 159 and 153 internal. So yeah, look, I'm smoking brisket out in the snow, but you know, you'd be surprised how easy it is to keep temperature in that thing. Okay, so I think that's gonna wrap for this video, and I'm sorry that it took so long to put out another video, but there really hasn't been anything going on. Since I parked the car, it's just been sitting and waiting on parts to come. So now the parts are here, and having the whole day to sit and watch the temperatures of a meat smoker has given me the opportunity to install everything. So, yeah, I think, oh, I still have a diffuser to build. So yes, there'll be that video. Watch for the video of the diffuser being built. And yeah, so like and subscribe. I really do appreciate every subscriber and the comments. I love the comments, most of the comments. And so, you know, tell me what you like. I know everybody hates the music, so tell me what I should do for the time-lapse stuff. If you don't like music, what should I put there for time-lapse? So let me know, and we'll see you in the next one.